Howdy. So just want to go over some nature stuff with you guys. I just caught a snowy egret just down there, but I lost him. Either he kind of stayed put or backtracked or he took off. But this is a beautiful part of Delaware's coastal area. I am now at red-winged blackbird? I think so. Gordon's Pond at Cape Henelopen State Park. And if you can see this cracked mud right here, that is exactly the reason why places like this are so vital for wading birds and coastal birds. Also, you're not really going to be able to see, but kind of right around there on the other side, you've got a absolute ton of insects. My first guess would probably be mayflies, but I'm not sure. But places like this are favorites for wading birds. You know, different types of egrets, herons, so on and so forth. Because they usually don't catch small fish, although great blue herons are really big, so they can catch fish, you know, or gray herons, what have you. But some of the smaller ones, like the snowy egret I just saw, they generally won't be catching fish. If they do, they'll be small fry, maybe small tadpoles. But what they're really looking for is buried in the mud or hopping about on the surface, like right over there. They're primarily eating insects. Now there are a couple of things also that make places like this optimal. First of all, it's very, very shallow throughout much of the body of water. But at the same time, it's not stagnant. The body of water is either big enough to circulate with fresh rains and stuff, or it's got little side creeks and stuff, some of which may go to either the bay or the ocean. So it's got to be shallow, but not stagnant. And again, places where you have this cracked mud right here is where they like to hang out and just pick at little insects and stuff. Right there. Anyways, this is a beautiful spot in Delaware. I hope nobody comes to the beach areas out here without visiting places like this, because this is a real treat. Up there's a red-winged blackbird on that sign. You won't see him yet, but just gorgeous, and not really too buggy. You know, some places like this can be really awful. That's the red-winged blackbird. I love that guy. There he goes. But it's just beautiful. It's kind of dithering on whether even to take a short video. Really just kind of out for my morning walk. Lots of walkers, lots of bikers. But as you can see, it's just gorgeous. So you got a coastal woodland environment. You have some small leafy trees, but a lot of different varieties of pine. Perhaps some cypress. Certainly loblolly pine, which I like. So that grows kind of in a scraggly fashion. See, here's an area where I kind of expect to see some waders. There's one guy out by the right there. Don't know if you can see him. Hard for me to ID him from here. That could be a small green heron.
Green heron?
I think so. unlike the great blue heron, they are very small. They never get bigger than almost a foot. And just like I said, they like these really low areas. They just like to pick in the mud. I wish I had fancy cameras and stuff for you guys, but I don't. You'd think, well, hey Kev, with your new job, your promotion and all, you could probably save up for one now, right? Well, methinks wages are slightly in jeopardy. I think some folks are going to be coming to get me soon. Pretty certain. So I'll basically be right back to where I was, but doing more work for it. But like I've said before, guys, you know, price I gotta pay, something I gotta face up to. Here's a loblolly pine. It's kind of scruffy and scraggly. Some of them might remind you of a Joshua tree, because they're not compact at all. Last thing about my debts, you know what, I very much understand that I took those debts on. But here's one thing that ticks me off about it. So my original loaner, or the folks who originally furnished my loan when I was in university, just so happened to get busted, I believe in the early 2000s, around the time I went back to school, for laundering, I think, about $60 billion for Mexican cartels. And essentially these same folks are asking for their money back. Right? Again, I understand money very well, despite my lack thereof. I understand the nature of banks and what they do and who they do it with and how they do it. And so I'll just call them out. It was Wachovia, formerly Wachovia, got busted in the mid 2000s or so for laundering $60 billion for Mexican cartels. You know what their fine was? Their fine was $20 million. And now they're coming after me, asking for their money. By the way, of course, Wachovia no longer exists. They were assumed by Wells Fargo. Just a little fun trivia for you. But enough about that. But so that's the reason why, guys, I'm still kind of stuck where I was. I'm gonna try like heck to find something on the side so I can not be working as hard as I do for the same amount of money that I was making. Something online, maybe. This is another good area where I might expect to find some waders. Some of these places near the grass might look stagnant, or might look you know, like they wouldn't hold any life, but they do. You know, again, you know, rains come, rains go. Things, you know, there's not much of a tide, but you know, there's circulation and movement in here. It's hard to notice, but there is. God, I love the smell of the marsh. It's just so organic and primal. Guess that's about it, guys. A little fun chit chat about nature and banking. I'll see you guys on the next one.